Mr. Nobody by Roger Hargreaves. Hello, meet Mr. Happy. Happy by name and happy by nature. And now I'm going to tell you a story. Actually, this story isn't about Mr. Happy. Well, not really. It's about someone he met not very long ago. Last month, in fact. Mr. Happy had been to tea with little Miss Sunshine. He thought about catching a bus to take him home, but as it was such a nice day, he thought again, and he decided to work, and he was glad he did. Would you like to know why? I shan't tell you. Not yet, anyway. Mr. Happy was whistling to himself as he worked along. When he heard a noise, he stopped. There it was again, a sort of sniffing noise. Snip, snip, snip. Suddenly, a drop of rain splashed on top of his head. That's odd, he thought to himself, looking up. There isn't a cloud in the sky. And then he couldn't believe his eyes. You'll never guess what Mr. Happy saw. There, sitting on a branch of a tree, was somebody who sort of was but wasn't. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's true. You can see through him. And he was crying real big fat with tears, which of course were what had splashed on top of Mr. Happy's head. Who, Mr. Happy managed to splutter, are you? The person who sort of was and wasn't looked mournfully down at him, and a mournful, manicuring voice replied, Nobody. Nobody? Yes, Mr. Happy, but everybody's a somebody. The person who sort of was but wasn't sighed deeply. It's me, he said, and he started to cry more real big fat with tears. Mr. Happy scratched his head, which was getting quite wet by this time. Can you get down? He wondered. Possibly, replied Mr. Nobody, and he climbed down out of the tree. Where have you come from? Asked Mr. Happy. Nowhere. Mr. Nobody sang a sort of a sigh that breaks your heart. I used to be somebody, but I can't remember who he snipped, or what he snipped, or where he snipped, or when he sobbed. Mr. Happy couldn't help but stare. It isn't often you meet somebody you can see right through. I think, said Mr. Happy, then you had better come home with me. Why, said Mr. Nobody. Because, Mr. Happy, we must do something about you. There's nothing you can do about we're nobody, wept the person who sort of was but wasn't. Of course there is, said Mr. Happy. Follow me. Eventually, they reached Mr. Happy's house and went into his living room. Mr. Happy pointed to a chair. Sit yourself down, he said. It was really quite extraordinary seeing somebody who was nobody sitting in a chair. Mr. Happy sat down too and thought hard. The wizard, said Mr. Happy. Of course. So the following morning, after no breakfast, Mr. Happy took Mr. Nobody to see the wizard. Ah, remarked the wizard, after Mr. Happy had tried to explain. Ah, he said again, I'm Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody just stood there, looking as glum as anyone can look, just trying Just try turning the corners of your mouth down as far as they will go. Go on. That's that's about half as glum as Mr. Nobody looked. The wizard thought and thought some more. Care for a cup of tea? He inquired. Nobody don't drink nothing, replied Mr. Nobody. Nobody's don't drink anything, said the wizard, correcting him. That's right, agreed Mr. Nobody. Aha! cried the wizard. That's it. The wizard rushed over to his workbench and started to mix up lots of different colored liquids in a huge bottle. They bubbled and gurgled together and let off a little puffs of white smoke. Bubble, bubble, gurgle, puff. Bubble, bubble, gurgle, puff. What color would you like to be? The wizard asked Mr. Nobody. Nobody's aren't colored, the sad reply. You choose, said the wizard, pointing at Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy thought. Well, he said, I always rather quite enjoying being yellow. Yellow is Shelby, shouted the wizard, as he poured more liquid into the bottle. Suddenly, with one huge puff of white smoke, the liquid turned bright yellow. Right, cried the wizard. Drink that. Nobody's don't drink nothing, said Mr. Nobody. Exactly, yelled the wizard at the top of his voice. Nobody's don't drink nothing. Therefore, nobody's must drink something. Mr. Nobody took hold of the bottle and took a small sip. More, cried the wizard. Much more. Mr. Nobody shut his eyes and took a deep breath and swallowed all of the liquid. Mr. Happy and the wizard watched and waited. And watched. Nothing happened. Told you so, said Mr. Nobody, and inside another one of those sighs that break your heart. But wait a minute. Did their eyes deceive them, or they looked at Mr. Nobody's feet? They were turning sort of, yes, yellow. Yes, definitely yellow. Definitely yellow. Then Mr. Nobody's legs turned yellow, then his body, then his arms, his nose. Mr. Happy shouted. What about his nose? They watched and waited. They waited and they watched. Nothing happened. Suddenly, Mr. Nobody sneezed. And impendingly after he sneezed with an enormous pop. A tissue pop. His nose turned yellow as well. Oh, I wish you'd been there to see Mr. Nobody's face. His mouth stopped turning down and started to turning up. And up and up and up again. Well, chuckled Mr. Happy. I told you so. Everybody's a somebody. The end.